Jesus. I don't feel much anymore. I still pray, I still believe, I still call you Lord, but the spark that once burned like fire has faded into a quiet ember. I used to cry in worship, feel every lyric like it was written in my own blood. Now I just stand there, hands still, eyes dry, and wonder if something's wrong with me. People say I've changed, that I don't laugh like I used to, that I've grown distant, they're right, but not in the way they think. I've stopped reacting. I've stopped chasing the noise. The doctor gave me something to help me breathe again. It silences the storms, but sometimes it silences the rain too. It keeps my hands steady, but my heart feels still. And I ask you, is this peace or paralysis? Am I healed or hollow? Have I outgrown emotion, or have I lost the part of me that feels alive? You say, you haven't lost anything, my child. You simply learned to listen to me in the quiet. You prayed for calm, so I calmed the seas. You begged me to take away the anger, the panic, the noise, and I did. But now that the storm is gone, you missed the thunder that once reminded you I was near. You're not numb. You're healing. You're learning to recognize my presence, not by goosebumps or tears, but by truth. You mistake silence for absence, because you've been trained to find me only in sound. But I'm in the stillness too. Jesus, then why does the whisper feel so far away? Why does my love feel smaller now? I still love my wife, my children, my friends, but it's quieter, not the kind of love that leaps, the kind that stays. I tell my wife I love you and I mean it, but it sounds different now, as if I've traded passion for peace and I feel guilty, like I've become less of the man she prayed for. You say you've become exactly the man she prayed for. Before your love was emotional, fragile, reactionary, a fire that burned bright but easily lost its shape. Now it's refined. It's covenant, not chaos. You used to say yes to everyone to prove your heart was good. Now you say no when it's wise. That isn't coldness, it's clarity. You're learning to love with discernment, not desperation, to protect, not please. You stopped trying to be everyone's savior, and you let me be God again. That's not a loss of emotion. That's the gain of order. Your house is being set in divine alignment. That quiet love you feel, that's not emptiness. That's endurance. Jesus, then why do I still feel unholy? Why do I feel like a machine sometimes, structured, disciplined, but not soft? If your spirit fills me, shouldn't I overflow with warmth and compassion? Why do I feel more like a soldier than a saint? You say, because you were called to fight, but not people. You fight for truth, for integrity, for the kind of love that doesn't compromise. And yes, it can look harsh to the world, but remember, the same Jesus who wept also flipped tables. The same heart that broke for sinners also burned against lies. Holiness isn't softness, it's wholeness. The perfect balance between grace and grit. You're not becoming less loving, you're becoming real. Emotion made you move, but truth makes you stay. That's the maturity of grace. Jesus. Still, Lord, there's this weight like a thorn in my soul. I can't remove it. And part of me wonders if you even want to. You say, the thorn, even Paul had one. A constant reminder that grace is better than pride. He asked me 3 times to take it away, and I said no, because some pains are not punishments. They're preservation. They keep you close. They teach you to lean. They remind you that perfection isn't your assignment. Dependence is. Your thorn may not bleed like his, but it anchors you the same way. It keeps you reaching for me instead of running on your own strength. And when you can't feel me, you still follow. That my son is real faith. Feeling fades. Faith remains. Jesus. So this stillness isn't punishment. It's protection. You've silenced the noise. so I can finally hear your heart. You've turned my tears to trust my emotions into endurance. I see now, it's not that I don't love you, it's that I'm learning to love you differently. Quieter, deeper, steadier. You say, exactly, if I gave you constant emotion, you'd worship the feeling, not the Father. If I gave you constant fire, you'd never learn to walk through night. You are being trained for permanence, not passion. The fruit you bear isn't measured by your mood, it's measured by your roots. And you, my son, are deeply rooted. So don't call it emptiness, call it evolution, call it maturity, call it grace that grew up. Jesus. Then let this thorn stay. If it keeps me close to you, let this quiet be my song, because even when I feel nothing, I know you are everything, you say. And that's the truest worship of all. Not fire on the lips, but faith in the silence. Not passion in the moment, but love that endures. You haven't lost me. You've found me. Where feelings end and grace begins.